Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you to our seventh edition of our tech meetup today. I am Farah and I am part of Eastern Enterprise for past 5+ years now, working as a business development manager. Today, we all are here for a very interesting discussion about integration of Open Solr with Drupal. I am sure you all must be very excited and eagerly waiting to hear from our speaker. But before we start, let me introduce what Eastern Enterprise is. Eastern Enterprise is an IT service company specialized in crafting software solutions for startups, small and medium enterprises. With an agile ready dynamic workforce of 350 plus technology artists, creating value in all directions. Eastern Enterprise helps 100 plus clients across Europe in creating software solutions that are robust, creative, modern, and user centric. Working with Eastern Enterprise, change becomes the most dynamic, powerful source of progress, and the heart and soul of Eastern Enterprise is its people. So that was a quick intro about our organization in a nutshell. To know more about us, you can visit www.easternenterprise.com. Now, I would like to quickly introduce you to our esteemed speaker for today and run you through the agenda of this meetup. Our speaker for today is Shivanan Mitkari, who works at Eastern Enterprise as a professional Drupal expert with 9+ years of experience in Drupal web application development and architecting Drupal solution. His core expertise is in Drupal and also hands-on experience with technologies such as React, Node.js, and AWS. Before I hand over the stage to our speaker, few quick housekeeping rules for all you present here today. In case anyone face any issues, please feel free to post it in the chat and our team will reach out to you to fix the same. In case any one of you have any queries, please don't hesitate to put the same in the comment section and our speakers will try to answer the same during the Q&A round. We will be having the Q&A session at the end of the meetup. Request you all to provide your valuable feedback as it would really help us to give you a better experience in future tech meetups. You will find the feedback form link that is already shared in the chat. So now I would like to welcome you to our speaker, Shivanand. Shivanand, the stage is all yours.
Yeah, thank you, Farah, and warm welcome to all of you. So, myself, Shivanand Metkari, and I'm working as a technical lead in Eastern Enterprise from last almost 1.5 year. I have around 10 years of experience in IT and mostly work with product and service-based companies as well. Around the tech stack, yeah, I mostly worked throughout my career on Drupal or 7, 8, and 9, and I got an opportunity to touch upon different integrations with Drupal like Open Solar and a few other technologies, React, Node.js, and AWS. So today I'm going to walk you through this open solar integration with the Drupal. And today we are going to cover this introduction to Drupal. It's like what is Drupal is all about, what is the Drupal architecture, different modules involved in it, introduction to open solar, what is this open solar is all about, and different open solar services. Drupal open solar integration, in the sense why this open solar integration is so useful and what is the benefit of it, and different modules involved into it, and open solar cluster. And then we'll check the we'll conclude the presentation with the benefits and uh, few other details. So first of all, if you talk about Drupal, so what is Drupal? Drupal, as you all might be knowing, this is an open source content management system, and it provides very sophisticated APIs to create a website. You can create a website very quickly. It provides a lot of distributions. It provides installation profiles, and it provides some multilingual as well as a multi-site architecture. So with that one, you can create a Drupal website based on your requirement, and it gives a way better digital experience with this Drupal 9 and 10. So this is the overall Drupal architecture. I'll not go much into a detail of architecture because we'll be more talking about the integration with Drupal. But if you see, Drupal runs on the PHP. It uses PHP and runs on the Apache, and it involves modules, themes, and different files. and in backend it is having MySQL, but we can use other databases as well, and all the data is stored in the MySQL. So this is the overall structure, the way Drupal runs. Next one is the Open Solar. So we'll talk about why this Open Solar integration is important and what is this Open Solar is all about. So Open Solar is search as a service platform where it provides a lot of data can be indexed into a Solar, and then we can search to that data based on our requirement, and we can update the data into a Solar. We can fetch the information, and it is again built on top of Apache Solr. So Apache Solr is the core architecture for the Open Solar, and it provides open Solar cluster as well. So which we'll see in the demo. And looking at this Open Solar architecture. So before getting more detail into architecture, we'll talk why this Open Solar integration is so important and what it is giving benefits. So as I mentioned, like it provides a search as a service, but on top of it, this Open Solar provides a lot of pricing customization. So based on your requirement, you can customize your plan and get that pricing. Along with it, it provides a cluster. So a cluster in a sense, like whenever the requests are coming to the Open Solar, it handles in a such a way that it gives very fast response to the whatever the queries which you are going to send to the Solar. So that's the extra benefit which is giving it on top of other competitors. So there are other competitors as well along for this Open Solar, but these are the way better option because it gives a very easy integration as well. Now looking at Open Solar architecture, here you can see this is the this underline, it is built on top of Apache Solr. So you can see this, there is Apache Solr layer, and Apache Solr in turn built on Lucene. So Lucene is a Java application. Again, it's Open Solar, and all the data flows through the Lucene, and data is stored in the data source. So basically, uh, whenever we are requesting any data to Open Solar, it goes through query. So in query, it checks the syntax and all those things. A check happens. Query handler is nothing but different types of query are sent to the Solar. For example, admin queries, where if you want to update few information or you want to do some administrative changes. Select queries if you want to fetch a few information from the Solar, whatever data you have indexed. Updates, whenever you want to update any index, whenever you are updating any content in your website, those can go to Solar as update. And in case of response writer, again Solar provides a different types of a response. It provides a JSON, again XML related response as well, and those are by default provided by the Solar. Now let's move to this Drupal Open Solar integration. So as you can see in the slide, we can create Open Solar index in Open Solar website. So that we'll see in more detail into a demo. But this is the way we can do integration. So you can see at the bottom there are different Drupal environments, dev, test, and productions, and we can connect these environments to Open Solar. We can create multiple indexes in Open Solar, and then we can connect these websites to those instances. And on top of it, if you see this production instance, here you can see there is R1 and R2, which are again a replication which is provided, and that is the reason it gives a more faster response to the queries. That will see more detail into a demo. So let's get into a demo. Interesting facts. So I'll keep. So this is the website. This is the local website which I have created just for demonstration purpose for this Open Solar integration. And here you can see I have created this website where I have used Umami as the installation profile. And with Drupal now, uh, this is the installation profile which gives some content as well. You can see on my screen there are a lot of images and contents out there which is given by this installation profile, and we'll be using this for a demonstration purpose. I have already installed a Drupal website. You can also do that setup using Lando. Again, I have used the same concept like Lando. If I open the code, I hope you're able to see this. Let me zoom a bit on this. So I have used Lando here. Lando again, it gives very quick and easy way to create a website in a local. For whatever purpose, if you want to create any Drupal website in a local and quickly try out few things, Lando is the best option. where just we need to define a recipe. You can see I have mentioned as a Drupal 9 web root, and just if you hit the lando start command, it will give you the complete website, and you need to do the installation with this. I have already created this website. So this is the way we can create the website using lando. Now looking at, let's go deeper into Open Solar. Now to integrate with the Open Solar, first we need to create index at Open Solar. So let's go to the Open Solar and create our first index. So I'm going to opensolar.com. I already have account on this website, but you can, if you don't have, then you can create a log. You can log in or you can create an account. And here you can click on the control panel. Control panel basically gives a lot more information about the Open Solar. It provides option to create index, create clusters, and lot of security options and dashboard as well. So let's go in deep into index. So here, if you see, if I mouse over on my index and click on list, it will give me the list of indexes which I have. And right now there is only one index which I have created, but when you're coming first time, you'll not see here any index, so which you need to add one index here. If you mouse over on my index and click on add new index, this screen provides a lot of options which are already provided. There are a lot of solar Apache Solar options, different versions are there, which is provided by Open Solar, and it gives an option to install in specific countries as well. Now you can see on the screen there is a Drupal Solar 9, Solar 8, and there are different, even 7 version is also there for Solar, and there are different countries. So if you are selecting, let's say if I'm selecting this Solar 8 with this Germany Frankfurt, and if I'm clicking on this, it gives me an option to create an index. And if I'm giving, let's say if I'm giving demo index, and if I add index, it will create this index in this Germany Frankfurt location with this Solar server. So its Solar server will be 8. I'll, I have already created one index. So if I go back and go to the list, you can see here already I have created one Drupal underscore meetup. One index is already created. Similarly, you will see this index. So let me open this index. This gives a few options like host name and all, which we'll be using in our Drupal website as well in order to connect to website. So this is the easiest way we can create index, and we are done with it. Now let's go back to the Drupal site and do the integration of Open Solar with Drupal. If I go back to website now, to make an integration with Open Solar, we need to install one module which is called Search API Solar. So if you just Google it, and you'll find this is the most popular module in Drupal, which is a Search API Solar. So I have installed this module in Drupal. You can install that through configurations, or you can using Drush command. I have already installed this module, so we can directly go to the config of this module. So whenever installing this module, Search API Solar, it gives an option where under search metadata, you can see here, it gives an option which is called Search API. If I open this Search API, it will give two options. One is the server and another one is the index. So both options are given by this model. Let this model get open. I'm opening this module. Okay, let me open this other screen. Okay, it's quite fast, but okay. Now you can see this already, this website is open, and here you can see there is a search API. It gives two options. One is creating a server and another is creating an index. So first, whenever you are coming, you'll not see these two options which is at the bottom, but you will see these two buttons, add server and add index. So first step is to create a server. Server is responsible to connect to Open Solar, and index is required to index data into a Solar. So if I have already created this server, so let's edit that existing server and see what all different options out there. If you see here, it gives us there is option to give Solar server name. So I have given it as a open Solar. You can give it as per your preference. If I scroll at the bottom, you can see here authentication. So this is the important step where this is responsible to authenticate with open Solar index, which we created in our previous step. Here we are giving different options: protocol, host, port, and even the core. So Solar core is nothing but the index name which we created on open Solar site. So if I go here, now here you can see this is the host name and this is the path where you can see Drupal underscore meetup is the core name and this is the host name. If I search this one, you can see I have given the Solar host and Solar core is the Drupal underscore meetup, which is matching here, Drupal underscore meetup. There are other options as well. We can define query timeout, index timeout, and even how the data should get indexed, whether it should be indexed immediately whenever we are creating or updating existing content, or should it wait for cron job to run it. So those options are there. The most important one is this authentication. So here we have given this username and password which is responsible to authenticate with open Solar. But what to be entered here as a username and password can be defined or configured here in open Solar site. So as in when we created an index, we need to go to, let me go to this security, and in security you can see here, here is option we can give username and password. So you can enter username and password and save it, and same username and password can be given here. I have already entered my username and password and I have saved this one. So once you save this, and then you can check whether it's really it is really connected to open Solar or not. If you are done with this creating a server, then you can click on this view option for that server, and it will give you whether it is connected to open Solar or not. So if you can see the status is enabled, that's fine. There are some other options are here, and this is the message which shows okay, the Solar server could be reached. It means our Drupal website is able to talk to the open Solar now, and the integration is successful with that, uh, in that way. Now next step is creating index. If I go back to search API, this is the next step where we are creating an index. I have created one meetup underscore index is the one index. Again, a name can be given as per your preference. And here we can select what all different data we want to index into a Solar. So I have given here as a content, which content to be, I want content to be get indexed into a Solar. Then if I scroll down, there are different options are here within a content. If I have different content types created in my system, currently I have article, basic page, and recipe. So which one you want to index, so those can be selected out here. I'm keeping this one, so all data is getting indexed into a Solar. Different languages we can define which languages or which language content should get indexed into it. Again, I'll keep it default, so it will all contents are getting indexed. And here I have selected the open Solar server, so which we created in our previous step. So we can create a multiple servers and create multiple index on top of it. So I have created one open Solar server here, which is by default it is checked. There are other options as well, index options. You can see here index items immediately, which means if any content update happens to in Drupal, those contents are indexed automatically into a Solar. It will not wait for its turn. Even we can configure the batch size in case of cron jobs, how fast or when it should get indexed, and what should be the batch size. But again, I'll not go much deeper into it. If I create this index and save it, we can see here it will create this index. Right now you can see there are already 40 contents are saved or indexed, but when you're creating first time, you will not see that. So it will look like this. First of all, I'll clear this index. Now we can see here there are zero content indexed, and we have total 40 contents in our website. If I go to this content screen, I think I already opened here. So here I can see that I have a lot of content there. So out of those, 40 are indexed into this one. I think that's the total content I have, because we selected all contents. Now if I go to open Solar, even we can check whether the content is indexed in Solar as well. So if we switch here and click on query, so query is option which will give you whether what how much data is indexed to it, and it's just querying Open Solar. Now you can see number of records found 0. Even if you go to Solar admin, it will give you a nice administrative interface here. And if I query it, it will give me a 0 record. So you currently you can ignore this one. I think there is some issue, but this is the important thing where we are executing a query and there are 0 items now. Now next step, let's index the content into Open Solar. If I'm clicking on index now, it is indexing the content. Now you can see total 40 contents are indexed into a Solar. And now if I'm querying it, I'm just hitting the execute query, and I can see total 40 contents are there, and I can find all those contents whatever I have selected and indexed into Solar. So complete data is indexed into a Solar. Now next step is to create a view on top of it. How we can make a search happen onto this whatever the data we have indexed. But before getting into a view, there is important step where we need to decide what all data should get indexed into a Solar, because right now we have selected these contents, but these contents are having different fields. For example, recipe, if I edit one of the recipe, it is having title, description, and a lot other details. You can see here even it is having whether that recipe is difficult to prepare, easy to prepare, kind of category it falls in, dessert, main course. So what all data we want to index, that can be defined while indexing a data, and that is something which we can control here under fields. So if I click on this field, I have already selected added these fields, but you can add those fields as per your choice what all data you want to index. I have indexed content type, okay, whether it's going to be a recipe, article, basic page. In case of recipe, difficulty level, how difficult that recipe is for prepare, recipe category, as we see in whether it's a dessert and all, and this is the title. So title I have indexed as full text. So there are multiple options you can see here on the screen by which we can use it for indexing. So I am selecting this as a full text Ingegam, which denotes that whenever we are searching for any content in Drupal or in Open Solar, it will search in articles. So whenever you are selecting any field as a full text, it means that field is made searchable. If you are selecting adding a description, if you're selecting that description field as a full text, if you are making a query, let's say for a paneer, it will look for that word in title and description if you added a description as well as a full text. And even we can control that as well, and that we'll see shortly in view as well. Now let's go back and create a view where we can show different contents, and we can build that view on Apache Solr, or we can build that view on this index which we have created. So let's go back here. Now you can see here the index name is meetup underscore index. Now we'll go and create a view. So view is again basic concept where in Drupal where we can create a view. I'll go to view. Here is option to add a view, and we can create a view on top of whatever index we have created. So if I click on add view, we can give view name, and important thing is we need to select show as a index meetup. So this is the index we want to build a view on top of this index which we have created. So I have already created a view on it. So let's go and edit it. Let's search. You can see search hyphen content. So this is the page or a view I have created, and I have what I have done in this case. I'm showing all those contents. You can see at the bottom there are all those contents are shown, and here is the field which is a full text search I have added as a filter criteria, and this is responsible for giving us a text field where we can search any of the term within our site. That we'll see in next screen, but just highlighting it here as well. If I open this one, full text search, and here you can see there is a I have given label as a search as well, and how it should in look, it should look for contains all the words, all these words. So whenever if you are typing any of the word, or if you're typing combination of words, it will look all those both words are present in title or not. If I scroll down, you can see here it shows search fields where they're typing a search term in which fields it should search. So currently it is giving content title, because you remember we have already indexed title as a full text enneagram, so that's the reason it is showing. But if you add a description as well, it will automatically appear here. And even if you can decide whether you want to make it search within title description, you can select and unselect based on your requirement. So I'll close this. And next, what I have done here, you can see exposed form in block. So this is the filter criteria. I have already exposed this title, and this I have exposed in a block. That block I have placed in one of the page. Now let's go to that page and see, and then we'll relate this view as well. I'm opening this home page. So this is a search box which I'm referring to, which is the exposed block. So if you see this exposed form, and this is the block, and I have placed this block using layout or block layout. If I go to this block layout, you can find this block to be here. You can see exposed form search content page one. So this I have placed in pre-header. So that's how it is appearing at the top. And whatever the view which is there, this view, it is available on this search hyphen on hyphen content url. Now if I go to this url, search hyphen content, you will see that contents. So you can see all those contents, whatever we have seen, or whatever we have indexed, those are appearing here as a search result. Now next thing is searching within this one. Now if I go and let's say if I want to search for, let's say, pork, if I'm searching for pork, applying this one, you can see the results is getting filtered based on that. I can reset it. Let me search for maybe chocolate. You can see there are multiple results out there with the word chocolate, and you can see the chocolate word is there in title, and that's the way we can conclude that it searches within the title, whatever is configured, because that's the thing which we have configured. This is the one thing. Now next thing is we'll look for the facets as well. Facets are nothing but filters which we can use for filtering the content. Right now you can see this is a difficulty and recipe category. So there are two filters which we have used, and both are used for filtering content. Now let's see how we have created those facets. So to create this kind of facets, so this is the difficulty, right? And we can see here the recipes having difficulty as a medium, then few recipes are with the easy and all. So let's say if I'm filtering the recipe with easy, I should be seeing all the recipe with easy. So you can see these are all the recipe shown as a easy. So this is the way those filtering is happening, and all those filtering, Drupal sends a request or query to open Solr, the Solr instance, and then it returns a response, and based on this filters are working. Now let's see how we can create this filters, or we call it as a facet. For that we need to install one module which is called facet, and if you google for facet Drupal, you will find this module. Again, you can install this module using a drush, or you can install this module manually. Once this module is installed, and then that it will give option as a facets under search and metadata. So let's go and open this one, facets. Now you can see here I have created two facets, and creating a facet is again easy. So if you need to add a face, click on this, select the index, select the search. We created this view, right? View search content, and then we need to select which field on which you want to build this facet. Now we have indexed multiple fields. We have indexed recipe category, we have indexed difficulty. So all those two facets are built on this. So we have indexed difficulty and recipe category, and I have created these two facets on top of it. You can see. Let's edit one of the facet, and let's go through few of the options out there. So here we can control how that facet should look like, whether it should be a drop down, what text it should, what should be the label, whether it should choose, say, choose or maybe select, which is appearing here. You can see choose, and those things are can be configured. There are a lot of other configurations are there, even if you want to hide the facet, if there are zero results, how that facet should work, whether it should work with the or operation or and operation, uh, different weights and order, ascending, descending, how those options should be shown. So a lot of options are there, those can be explored here. Now, similarly, the way I have added this block in or this exposed form in as a in a block layout, these facets are also added as a block layout. So if I go to the block layout and search for facets, you can see I have added these two facets. And adding is again quick and easy. So just need to say place a block, and if I search for difficulty, you can see it automatically shows that facet which we created in previous step, and those facet can be placed here. And it's very easy to filter the results based on these facets which are created, and you can see here. Now you can see there is only one results are appearing. So this is the way search works. Now if I go to the Open Solar site, and we can see there are few other options are there. So most important thing is, if you want to create, let's go to this configurations. And here is this is the most important step in Solar as well. If you want to override any of the configuration which is default provided, then you can upload configuration file here, and you can upload this configuration file as per your requirement. Generally what I have done in this case, if I go to this search API, configuration, search metadata, search API, even Drupal gives this file to upload to Consola. So if I go to server, it will give an option where we can download this config file. So you can see this get config.zip. If I click on it, it will download that zip and just go to again Open Solar and upload that. So that's the way you can make sure that all the configurations are there. Even you can override that configuration, and you can edit the different configurations are present here. You can see there are a lot of configuration files are there. I'm keeping as a default one, but those are available for you to update and edit those as per your requirement. Now another thing is, there are other options as well, like you can reset, you can check the error logs in Solar if something goes wrong, and also there are different options are there. Now next thing I think which is the interesting one in case of Open Solar is Solar cluster. So you can see here cluster. So cluster, and what is the cluster and how you can work with the cluster when you are working with the Drupal website, because right now you have seen we have site is working fine with the integration, but we haven't seen a cluster. The reason is I am using a free instance of Open Solar, and cluster is paid one, so that's why we are not able to create any of the cluster. But we can see how what that cluster will give a benefit, and in case of pricing as well, it will give that option. So if I go here in pricing, so you can see I'm currently using a playground account with a zero cluster, but if you go with let's say exclusive plan, it gives one cluster. And what the way cluster works, if I go back here and if I click on add index, this add cluster. So this is the architecture of cluster. So the way cluster works, so any request comes to the Solar or to cluster, if it is a request of updation of the index, or if you want to, if you create a, let's say if you created a new recipe, and if you want to get that recipe to be indexed into Solar, that will get indexed into a master. So here you can see there are two replications. So you can see there are so this is the one main cluster, mine is the main index, and there are two replication of it, which we have seen in our slide as well. So we can, whenever there is any request comes to the updation of the data, it will go to the master. So this is the master, and you can see here Open Solar master, which is a write only. which means that any updation happens, it happens to the OpenSolr master. If there any read request, for example, if you are searching for any text, if you are applying any filter, those are read requests for OpenSolr. So it just used to retrieve the information from Solar, and those goes to the replication. So you can see this is OpenSolr replica 1 and replica 2, and both are read only. It means that it will just serves the response whatever the requests are shown, and those are shared by round robin using load balancer. So here is a load balancer in which will route request to this one two replicas, and that's the reason it will give high performance on production as well, because here we are segregating both load master as well, and even in this case it's replications and read transactions are separated from the write transaction. So that's the how it will work in case of Solar. Now coming back to our website, now you can see all these filters and all those are working. And even if you want to create multiple facets out here, again, as I have shown you, we can add multiple facets. There are multiple options given by OpenSolr in case of uh, uh, for example, spell checking and all those kind of options are already given by Solar, and it provides a fast searching as we have seen. So that's pretty much of all about OpenSolr. And if I go back to the slide, and if I conclude this one, so now you can see as OpenSolr provides search as a service. You have seen that it's giving a very low with a low pricing, and based on your requirement, you can configure the uh, Solar server based on our requirement. Even there is option where we can select how much RAM, how much memory your Solar instance should have, and based on that also pricing varies. So there are a lot of options are given. Second thing is cluster provides a high availability and faster search results. This is again a read write operation, and even it keeps a GDPR and other compliance as well, because whenever we are creating an index, it gives an option which region you want to create that index, and based on that, it serves the result. And obviously, it's very easy to integrate with the Drupal, and that's is all about Open Solar integration. And I'll let's see if you have any questions to answer. So I'll hand it out to Farah.
Thank you so much, Chef, for this wonderful session. I am sure we all have learned a lot. So, quickly moving on to our questions, let me just check. So, our first question today is how to prioritize search based on fields. Like, there is an example. If I'm searching for a paneer keyword, I would like to have recipes which have paneer word in title should show first rather than description.
So that's interesting. And let's say if you have that kind of requirement, obviously if you are, the Paneer bot can be there in title and description, but we want to utilize a priority. And people use a very easy option to handle it. So if we go to configuration, search method, and search here, we are indexing any field, we can. So for example, here I have created an index, and if I go to the fields, and as you mentioned, we can prioritize. So you can see there is one option called boost. So this is the number which defines priority. Say if you add description as well, and if you are giving description priority boost as a 3, and for title as a 8, which means that title will be given a high preference whenever the whatever the user typing is appeared in the title. So that's the how it will work. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to next question. How to build autocomplete or suggestions drop down when user starts typing for keyword? I mean, the example is just like when we search on Google, we get a list of suggestions while typing.
Okay. Okay, so let's say this is the text box, and let's say if you want to, if you're typing something, any word, let's say if you're typing P, you want to get a drop down. Let's say now the site is all about recipes, so let's see if it will give pork, paneer, and all those options. So for those things, Drupal, there is already one module called spell checker. So let me not spell checker, it's autocomplete plugin Drupal. So if we search for this one, you see there is already one plugin called Search API Autocomplete. We are using this in one of our project as well. So what it will do, it will give you one more field. You can install this module, and it will give you one more options in a field itself. For example, if I go to this field, and here you can see there are a lot of options are there. So it will give you one more option called suggester. You can see it is already there, suggester. So it will give you that suggestion, and with that one you can apply that suggestion to your search box, and that's the way it will give you autocomplete drop down. And the beauty of it is it will not give any random words. It will only look for the words in your indexed content. So if it's a recipe site, so if you're typing p, it will not give you some location or some other name. It will give you a paneer mostly, because it will find that word into a content which is indexed. Yeah.
Okay. So next question is related to the second one. What if the user has typo searched in his or her keyword? I mean, does Solar has capability to spell check?
Yeah, so Solar is having capability for spell checking. Again, there is one module which is called spell checker, which we can install. And once it is installed, it gives an option as well. What Let's say if you're typing any of the wrong keyword, and then what you want to show in a search result. For example, if you are typing, let's say, paneer, but the spelling is wrong, then it will suggest you the correct spelling as well, and user can click on that correct spelling, and then it will give you the correct result. So yeah, spell checking option is, or that support is already provided by Solar.
Great. Moving on to a next question here. Does Solar supports phrase search?
Okay, so phrase search, yes, it's supported. Let me give some example here. So let's say if I'm searching for not, let me see if we what results we are getting here. Okay, so here you can see there are two results, um, chocolate and nut brownie, and cake made of nut with a brownie. So phrase search, in a sense, if you are giving two words together and you want to have that sequence to be matched. So now you can see here I have searched for nut. I'm getting two results. If I'm searching for, let's say, brownie, even I'm expecting to get a two results. The reason is it will look for both this word, whatever we are searching in the title. And let's say if I'm giving nut brownie, still it will give you two results. The reason is it will split the word nut and brownie, and it will look individually in the title. So you can see nut and brownie is present here as well and here as well. But here it's a split. It's not continuous word. And now let's, if you want to search with that one, that is called again a phrase search. And if I'm putting in double quote and apply, should be getting only one result with the exact match. So yeah, so you can see it's already supported with Solar, that phase search is already there.
Okay. And another question. What kind of data structure used by Solar in order to store the data?
Okay, so Solar internally uses, which is one concept called inverted index. It's like some kind of glossary, you can say, where uh, all the data is stored, and it stores in inverted index in a such a way that it will index all the records. Just like, let's say, in alphabetical order, right? So it will index in that order, and that's the how it will point to specific content whenever you are searching. And that's the reason it's more fast, because it's based on that logic of inverted index, and it stores that we can connect any storage for that matter. Currently, generally it stores in file format, whatever the data is which is indexed with the inverted index. And that's the way data is structured in Solar.
All right. Let me check if we have more questions in the comment box. Guys, if you still want to ask some questions, you can still ask. Okay, I don't see much questions now. So thank you so much, all of you, for joining, and thank you so much for this insightful session. Looking forward for more.
Thank you, everyone.